Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Nathan Segura and Gibbe, come in here.
Okay.
At some point, you're so handsome.
I'm like in and out, especially in the second hour.
What do you got going on?
We have to weigh trunks today.
From 1 to 3?
At 2 o'clock, of course. Why would anything be scheduled outside of 1 to 3? Including like our cases for London, which are not done yet.
How would you even know?
Huh?
How would you even know what's in that case to London?
Correct.
I'm not going to London yet.
We're still building it out.
People are milling about.
Yeah, I'll come in periodically.
That'd be wonderful.
I got you.
That would be wonderful.
Today is game 1 of a scheduled 334 games between today and February 8th, 2026.
Are you going to watch the Hall of Fame
From
game?
Andrew Siciliano.
Are you going to watch the Hall of Fame game?
No.
I think I might throw it on just to see a little football action. I think it has background potential. I told Luca about it.
I give you that. I would have it on in the background. I'm not going to sit down and intently scrutinize things. Lindsey Rhodes used to work for NFL Network and ESPN. Had a great tweet. Welcome to the day we get excited that football is back,
and then turn it off
only to
quickly.
realize seconds into the game that we don't actually recognize 95% of the people playing, and we ramp up to be excited again next week. It's here.
Yes, that is exactly right. That's exactly how it goes. That's why I said I might tune into it right there, which would be fun. So yesterday, Luca was out here at camp. Gibbe avoided him and Nana for good reason.
I didn't mean to.
No, you didn't. You wanted no part of Nana. She was looking for you. She had a bone to pick with you.
Oh, there are a lot of people. She should get in line.
Get in line, Nana.
Get in line.
No, we all love Gibbe.
I felt bad. I don't know how I missed you.
I don't know, because I was up here multiple times, and they're like, he's up there. So I was here, and then you're gone, and then you're gone again.
Yeah, like I came downstairs, and I remembered I got pulled to the side. We had national radio here. We had a lot. And I remembered seeing you with the stroller, and I was like, I got to get over there.
Yeah.
And I turned, and you were gone. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they left because we're approaching the end of practice. And
well, yeah, he did great. In fact, he liked it so much that he rewarded us. In my opinion, this is a reward. He rewarded us by sleeping till 6 a.m. Longest shift of his career by 2 hours, as a matter of fact.
So I'm gonna throw it out. Like, I've noticed this with the grandbaby. Fresh air. Get him outside.
Yeah, get him in activity.
Get him active and get him outside. Get him away from the screens.
Unfortunately,
they sleep a hell of a lot better.
It's been tough. I mean, he doesn't even know what a screen is.
Correct.
It's been tough to get him because he can't regulate his temperature. He doesn't possess the ability to sweat and regulate his temperature, and it's been too hot.
It's been stupid hot.
Too hot. Now, I'll tell you what, that 65 felt great.
65 in rain. Like a day like today, I'm happy with the rain.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm fine with it. And plus, because, it's not like we were golfing anyway. How was golf league last night?
Tied the number 1 player in the league.
You did?
Yeah. Played to a tie.
Okay. That's good.
I felt like, considering I hadn't swung a club in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that things were pretty good. Had one awful hole, but the rest of it put it together. I think it was a 46.
Solid, dude.
I'll take it.
Absolutely.
That's right in the wheelhouse for these days for my golf games.
That is very solid. So, yeah, good on Luca, good on Gibbe. Our hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals, the official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns, is that, as you mentioned, first NFL game of the 2025 season tonight, the Chargers and the Leones from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. Starting today, we talked about it. Football
should they
every
make
week.
The starters play one series in this game?
No.
I think they should.
Make them?
Yeah.
I don't think you can make anybody do anything. I don't think you can make anybody do anything. I
liked it. Come on, it's the Hall of Fame.
I hear you. I'm just saying I don't think you can make any.
I'm sure you can.
I don't think you
I
can
just
make
would like
them
to
do
see
that.
that.
You may. I see that. I see that you would like that. I just don't think you can make them do that. I really don't think you can make them do that. If somebody got hurt because they were made to do it, like Jared Goff gets hurt on that first series, Justin Herbert, people are going to be like, there'd be riots.
So the interesting thing about the whole Brock's going through today, he goes, wait a minute. So they have 4 preseason games?
That's right.
I said, oh, yeah.
We had it 2 years ago.
Yep. And we used to do it on the reg.
Yeah, so
It was
that
awful.
was the norm.
4 preseason games. Awful.
Yeah.
I mean, by the 4th one, it was. I can remember being in Chicago for the final preseason game, rooting for a running clock, and yelling at Deke, who was trying to buy a beer from a guy walking up the aisle, because we were in the stands at Soldier Field, basically, trying to get a beer guy's attention to get a beer. No, Doug, you may not have a beer right now.
No, I believe that's a violation of statutes and limitations and whatnots.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, you put us in the middle of the stands for a 4th preseason game.
Hey, they put us in the stands for a regular season game in London, literally in the stands.
I think we'll be in a little better
in Chicago,
spot
you're
this
at least in a booth. It just opens very much into the stands.
Well, you're walking through the concourse to get to
there.
said booth.
Yes.
Which is also the case in New England, if I recall correctly.
I've never been in that one.
That one's a tight one, and it does require a concourse walk.
Well, it'll be better than the last time I was there, which it poured the entire game. And it wasn't supposed to rain.
The last 2 times.
Well, I wasn't there. I had COVID.
From, never, no names, please.
Yeah, from down in Cincinnati. I had COVID, so I missed that one where we got, unfortunately, boat raced by the Patriots.
Those were awful games.
The other one was, it poured. I remember Miss K had gotten me, I feel like that had to be like either the year before or something. She got me like these nice leather gloves, like were fur lined. They were very nice, and it was supposed to be cold. It was not supposed to rain, and it rained so hard that like, and leather, good leather, when it gets wet, like now they might fit Luca. That's how much they shrunk after that day. Yeah, that was.
I just both times. The last time we went, I don't think you did. I don't think you were on the last one.
The last time we went was when I had COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, the time before that was Frederico.
Yes,
And that was
that's exactly what it was.
right out of the bye week.
That's exactly
Woof.
what that was.
And then the COVID one, we flew in on a Saturday. We weren't allowed to travel with the team. So we flew in the afternoon. Sunny, beautiful, great, beautiful fall day. We stay in Rhode Island. By 5 o'clock, it had flipped. Wrath of God, tornado warnings. Like, had to evacuate our rooms and go downstairs to the banquet hall.
Yeah.
The team was just pulling up and had to sit on the buses while there were numerous tornadoes in the area. You could see the funnel clouds from our hotel room.
Jeez Louise.
And it never let up until we took off Sunday night. Like, it just rained, stormed, and then it just became a cold rain for 7 hours on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm glad
it was awful
not
in
sad I missed
every
that
way,
one.
shape, and form.
Not sad that I missed that one, folks. ESPN The Ocho begins tonight and runs through August 31st and is available on all ESPN platforms. What's the craziest thing you've watched on it? That's real? I thought it was in a movie. This is real?
This is real.
But wasn't it first in a movie?
Yeah, it was dodgeball.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've watched on it?
I've never seen anything.
All right, here we go. ESPN The Ocho. Origin explained, the Dodgeball movie inspired the infamous channel to become a reality.
So the Ocho consists, it's been around for 7 years.
Okay.
Lesser known, unconventional, and humorous sports, occupational competitions, esports, and other competitions with some athletic, competitive, or physical skill component. The block is traditionally presented in early August. Much of the programming consists of previously recorded content and reruns, previously aired on ESPN networks, some as far back as the 1990s.
Huh. So the first year it ever became an official thing on 2017, 13 years after the movie Dodgeball was released in 2004, which made the reference to it. It used the platform to fill airtime on ESPNU during the college football offseason. Brought back the day-long conversion in 2018 and again in 20, 22, 23, 24. Honored Ocho years of Ocho by expanding the coverage to 4 days of success, and the 4-day structure was continued in 2025.
All right, now I'm in. All right, so I've got the schedule for the first few days.
All right, you ready for here are the sports that are on there. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fluke tag, isn't that the nail game? That's the Hoffs game. I'm telling you.
That's a great game. I enjoy that game. Is that the nail?
Oh, no, it's not. That's what I thought it was. No, wrong. Fluke tag is the unique event where teams design and build human-powered flying machines and launch them off a platform and attempt to fly as far as possible over a body of water.
Yeah, because 90% of them just go straight down
what's
into
what's
the
the
water.
hammer one? Hammerschlagen? Is that what it is?
I think that might be. You have to flip the hammer and then try
You
to
just have to
hit
pick it up. You get one swing. You can't. You just have to hit until you get the nail all the way in.
Yes. It's pretty awesome. They have it at like Oktoberfest now.
Yes, it's exactly what
love
it is.
I love all of it.
Yeah, Hammerschlagen. All right. All right. Back to the very exciting lineup of things that you get.
Hey, look, this is good. We're on ESPN.
Streamer games, pro roller hockey, national ball hockey, national putting tour. Would watch that. Goat racing, T-Rex races. I thought they were extinct. Corgi races. Would love that as a former Corgi owner. Dog surfing, roof ball, good game. One wheel world championships, golden T world championships, freestyle trampoline championships, and auctioneers championship. The mullet championship, that sounds great. Beach tennis, rest ball high lie, awesome game. Outhouse racing, Swiss stone tossing, mail boat jumping, bubblegum blowing championship, fling shot, Goodyear blimp race, paintball championships, omega ball, kickball, trick shots, pop darts, slippery stairs, the Savannah Bananas, archery, love archery, dodgeball, of course, Papa Shot championships, pillow fighting championships, car jitsu, where people are like stuck in a car and they have to fight each other, crazy. Chess, the Microsoft Excel World Championships, never heard of that. Robot fighting, foot golf, arm wrestling, ping pong. Ping pong is an Olympic sport. Bike polo, axe and knife throwing, cool. Tire wrestling, soap hockey, and tractor pulling.
Hold on, I got more. August 2nd at 2:30 in the morning, you can watch Sasquatch Uncut Beard and Mustache Competition. I don't know what that is, but I'm in, actually.
I don't know. I like it.
The USA Mullet Championships.
Yeah, that's
you
gonna be
mentioned
strong.
some mullet
Yeah.
thing, and that mullets always make me smile. The Wisconsin Auctioneers Championship. How do we
Yeah.
get Hoff entered into that?
Well, they do. Professional auctioneers they do their own thing. They're professional auctioneers are.
There is
legit.
speed puzzling.
Yeah. How fast can you get that puzzle? That's what I'm talking about.
Can you? How good are you at Papa Shot?
I was quite good.
I've never seen you at Papa Shot.
Man.
I've seen you at a lot of things, but never at Papa Shot.
In my day, what's your Papa Shot form? Like, how do you do Papa Shot?
Yeah, do you go underhand?
Amateurs. Are you guys serious? You can't be good at Papa Shot playing that way.
I do just fine.
No, you can't. Shooting one with both hands on one basketball.
Oh, no.
Dude,
I have.
I'm like this.
That's how Rhoda. Kenny
Dude,
Rhoda,
are you
if you're
kidding me?
listening.
You get
Kenny
perfect
Rhoda is the
backspin.
greatest Papa Shot player I've
Dude,
ever seen.
that's how you. It's
He does the whole underhand.
not underhand. It's like this. It's
No. He does the underhand, but
Dude,
the
you're
reverse of that.
Brock. You're going
but
like
underhand.
this, and then you're picking up a ball and going like this. I've shot 3
I don't
balls
know.
by the time
I've
you've done
got,
that.
yeah.
You have no idea. It's a different game. I'm playing a different game than you are. You're playing a basketball shooting game.
He wants the mic.
I have Papa Shot in my basement, and I've mastered it.
So you're not going to miss. I don't care about that. I'm not going to miss either. I'm going to shoot 20 more shots than you.
You're gonna miss way more though. I'm gonna make like 95% of the shots I put up, and I move fast too. Like it's yeah.
Dude, think about perfect backspin. So anything that hits rims in. I'm amphibious, dude. I can use both hands.
We gotta play one day.
again, I'm happy to do it, and I'll keep my same bravado. I'm talking about in my day, which is not now. I couldn't even tell you last time I played Pop Shot, but dude, in my day, I was electric.
Why couldn't you do it now? What?
I will do it
what
right
in
now.
your day?
In my day of
Papa
like
Shot.
playing a lot of Papa Shot, dude. I made a lot of coupons in my day in college. We had a bar, Famous, that had full shot, which I was
Oh,
quite
I
good
like
at,
those.
like full, and then it had Papa Shot. My buddy D-Strum is also a very electric Papa Shot player as well, and he's in the same boat. Yeah, I used to dive bar, dude. I used to go crush people at dive bar. Crush.
Shout out, Justin.
Yeah,
Hope you're well, buddy.
Costanza, the best. He had a guy though who worked there, Keith, that was very good. Because we would play also on Mizfest. We would go to some big place. I don't even know what. It was huge, big bar, and we'd always have a Papa Shot tournament. Undefeated. What was that? What did LeVar Ball say? Never lost. Never lost. I could find the place. The Papa Shot was in like the back left, and we would hold it. Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure what you're doing is very pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at the goose. Great. Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on. Just go do me this favor. I know you're very dexterous. You're very skilled. Just go try what I'm talking about.
I have.
And you're not as good at that way?
No.
Oh man. Are you are you only reliable right-handed on those? So what's the problem?
I'm just not as accurate. Like I can't with one hand. You can't just put it right against the glass and it's gonna drop in every time. Like
So you're slamming off the glass.
no, I swish
Okay. Well, then we talk about the glass.
because I feel like doing two hands, you'd have to bank it in.
No, dude. No, you're going for just over the front rim, and you have perfect backspin. So if you hit the front rim, it goes the one that goes like that. It goes boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom. You can do one hand if you want. That's also fast because you're using this hand as the gatherer. Trust me, dude. Trust me. I've been in a lot of
I don't know,
serious
man.
stakes.
He
All right, so at
seems
Butler,
pretty
are you
adamant.
running around?
I don't see
Are
Brock
you?
get adamant like this.
Is this a lot of how you're funding your time at college?
He plays on the club team.
I don't
know
have
he's a
Papa Shot at
baller.
college. I have it at home in my basement.
But there isn't there's not a Butler bar that has Papa Shot?
Not that I'm familiar with.
What
Demerit.
School.
Demerit. Big demerit. All right. So that's where we are. All right, coming up on the show, we've got a lot of stuff for you here today. And I'm even going to invent my own segment at some point.
Perfect.
Because I want to. By the way, you can get your mailbag questions in to us using @Browns_daily or on the YouTube stream. We'll get that. All right, we're going to hear from Wyatt Teller. We're going to hear from former NFL quarterback and analyst for NFL Network, David Carr, with Andrew Siciliano. We've got the best from D and Jimmy Haslam's press conference. We got some around the league stuff. And then you know what I'm going to do, because he kind of hit at this, some questions for you, 7 practice deep. I'm going to kind of go through position by position where things kind of stand, it feels like.
Perfect.
7 days into camp and what that looks like. So that's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. Wyatt Teller coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. In college, is this taking you back to that, or is this new level of heat in Cleveland?
Yeah, I will say, growing up in Northern Virginia, it can get a little warm. I remember days where it was mid 90s, high 90s, low hundreds. Yeah. Not as humid as South Carolina,
Sure,
or anywhere in the true deep South, but yeah, no, it was warm. Virginia Tech, you're in the mountains, 85 degrees and gorgeous all the time.
Sounds glorious.
That's how the summer is. And then here, we've had pretty mild summers. This was the first real, I would consider, while I've been here, real winter and real summer, where it is, it gets there. I will say this, you do have to remind yourself, we're not in Tampa, we're not in Miami, we're
Could
not
be worse.
in Houston. There's a lot places that I don't even know how they practice.
Me neither. And yesterday you guys had the pads on. What was that like? First day in the pads, on top of the heat, all of it getting out there. It looked like, compared to what I recall, and tell me if I'm wrong, but typically the first day in pads, I know at the Greenbrier last year, it was kind of just position groups.
Yeah.
And you guys got after it. Multiple 11-on-11 periods. Yeah. The intensity ratcheted up.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed the intensity of this camp. Has been brought up. I think that after a season like we had last year, we gotta create some toughness. I don't think any of the guys in our locker room or any of the guys in our coaching staff are mentally weak, but it just helps you understand you can go a lot further than you think you can. Your body, your mind will fail before your body does.
How's it been for you getting back in the mix, obviously? Kind of maybe a little bit of a return, I would say, to the roots of what you did probably earlier in your career here with the Cleveland Browns. Coach Bloomgren feels like somebody that the offensive line guys are going to like working for a lot. What's kind of that been like for you?
Yeah, no, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think that we're getting back to what we're good at. And what's fun, pass pro is not fun. There might be some offensive linemen that think pass protection is fun. I would disagree. I don't think going backwards against a guy who's 300 pounds and probably, I'm just going to be real here, is probably more athletic, probably stronger, but, faster. But at the same time, we get those plays back in the run game where they have to now get hit, double teams, pull, stuff like that. So, it's what we're good at, and we're getting back to it. I appreciate that. I also love Coach Bloomgren. I think he's a great coach.
It feels like to me, and tell me if this is wrong, I'm no expert. Joe Thomas has taught me a great deal about offensive line play, but far from an expert. It seems like this year when you guys are pulling, you're kind of square to the line quicker than I remember you being from a shoulder standpoint. Is that something technique-wise that you guys are working on?
Yeah, I think that a lot of our pulls, skip pull versus, traditional O pull, where your open pull or whatever someone wants to call it, O pull where you're crossing the center. Some people do it skip pull, some people do it O pull. Bill was a big O pull guy. His mindset was, you're not on the field. You're athletic enough to be on the field as one of my offensive linemen. You can rotate your shoulders, but sometimes you'd miss the hole, or sometimes it'd hit a little wider. But so the skip pull is just to basically stay square. Put your foot in the ground and get north.
Okay, and yesterday you guys got a lot of work in some of that stuff. What's it been like for you going against some of these young guys? Mason Grant, obviously the 5th pick in the draft. You get pretty familiar with him out there. Malik Collins is in the mix as well now. What's it been like kind of getting to look at that front, which has really been remade in many cases in the middle and is expected to be obviously a strong part of this team? Yeah, no,
I feel like, we had really good D tackles last year. We've had really good D tackles my entire career here. But, this year it feels different. We have some guys that can, what Coach Schwartz wants, they're doing, and they're not easy to block.
When it's a rookie, do you sometimes have to be like, it's training camp, buddy, let's calm it down a little bit? Dalvin, I bet, got the deal last year.
Yeah, well, there isn't any brother-in-law, but there is sometimes where it's like, hey, if you got me on skates, brother, you don't need to put me in the quarterback's lap so he hits his hand on your helmet.
Sure.
I haven't had to have many conversations with Mason. Mason gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. It's been fun. That's good competition.
He's a rookie, but he's a pro. He gets it.
Yeah, that's good. In the huddle, many different voices, 4 of them so far this year. What's that kind of been like getting to go? Have Joe Flacco back, you bring in a new guy, Kenny Pickett, and then the 2 rookies, Gabriel and Shador.
Yeah, more of the same. I've had a couple quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're used to that.
Yeah, so it's nothing new. But no, all jokes aside, we've just got to be able to find consistency, whoever's back there. We're not looking back. We might get the play call, but then we're looking forward. We've got to block the front. We have 6, 7, 8 guys to block every play. So, it's nothing we haven't handled.
One of the things they say in training camp, you get sick of going against the same guys. Well, this year the way it's kind of set up is you're not really going to do that. We're going to go next week. You're going to be in Charlotte. The week after that, Philadelphia taking on the Eagles. Do you like those joint practices, and does that give you, some real good kind of sense of where you are?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say I like joint practices, but I understand the reason for them. I like you said, you do get bored going against the same guys. That being said, in 2020, we didn't have any preseason games, nothing. We went out there first week. I went against the same guys for 5 weeks. So you learn how to get better through incremental differences, whatever it is.
Sure.
But no, I do like competing, and I like going against different D tackles and just seeing what different moves they have. How can I perfect the moves against those and make sure that they don't get me during the season when it matters. Not that preseason doesn't matter; it all matters, but it's just slightly different. The only reason I'd say, joint practices aren't fun is because you're going on. They know your snap count by the second day. They're rearing back. If you had a good day that first day,
Oh yeah,
it's not going to be fun that second day. But no, we have our work cut out for us. We have a hard schedule. We have good teams we're playing against in the preseason. Super Bowl champs. So we have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That's the last of the 2 joint practices in Philadelphia, defending Super Bowl champs. Darn good defensive front, darn good guys, and big human beings on the interior. That's one that I feel like you guys come out of that, you're going to be like, okay, that's the one that's going to give you a little barometer, but also we're ready to play whoever is thrown at us.
Exactly. Like, they have guys who are fast. They have guys who are big and strong. They have guys who are fast, who are big and strong. So it's going to be, it's a good test of our mettle.
All right. Important questions now. 1, how's the family?
Family is good. Mom's good. Mama's good. Brooksy's good. Gigi's good. They're all good.
How's
Getting
the golf
big.
game?
Golf game is not good. Finished in the high 80s at the end of the year, so I was playing a little bit better.
Okay.
Beginning of the season started mid to high 90s and then got it down. But now I take seven months off, so my golf game is going to turn to crap.
It's going to go, but then eventually we'll get you back in that simulator. I do have to ask.
I have 40 years to play golf. I'm not worried.
Exactly.
About it.
You do. You have a whole life.
A whole life.
Longer than that even.
Yeah.
What a
I'll
glorious
focus on
game.
football while I'm playing.
What a glorious game. I'll tell you what. I walked in the sim the other day and people have worn it out. There is a full-on groove in the middle of that mat.
Yeah.
I like
Which I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like you shouldn't be hitting beaver tails in an indoor, but hey, whatever,
Right, should be smooth.
It should be smooth, just right on the edge. But no, I feel like that's an awesome little thing that we got. We didn't have a players lounge for 3 years or 4 years since COVID, so it was nice. And then our equipment room grew. There's just as an organization, we've had our building for so many years that you just got to kind of create a way to do it. So it was nice that they built this beautiful indoor indoor weight room that we have a cool little
very cool
cool little players lounge in there.
All right, and then from the summer, what was your favorite thing you did this summer?
Got to go home for the first. Well, so I call Virginia home, call Roanoke, my hometown, but, hometown would technically be Bealton, but where we're going to live forever is Roanoke, and we finally bought a house, got some of it furnished. It was the first time going home, so it was really cool.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Well, very excited to have you back out here. We're in the mix. Here we go, baby. 2025 Cleveland Browns. Thrilled to have you on the line, obviously, and thrilled to have you on the show today, Wyatt. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nathan.
That is Wyatt Teller.
So the forever home's in Roanoke?
That's what he's saying, yeah.
I mean, I figured they would go back home.
Yep.
That he and Carla, I mean, they're both from that area and totally understand.
Yeah. Roanoke's where there's a lot of naval stuff, right?
I was going to say, that's on the water, if I'm correct.
I believe you are.
I think there's a big naval base right there. My next door neighbor, I think, was stationed there. I think he still might be, that I grew up next to.
Yeah, Roanoke. That was the closest big city, though, when we were at the Greenbrier, if I'm not mistaken. Remember Deontay Foreman had to get taken somewhere? I thought he was taken to Roanoke. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I mean, look, he's excited.
As he should be. These guys are very excited about the offense. They're very excited about Mike Bloomgren. So, yes, this is a situation that our guys on offense are excited about. And I think, you'll get to see a little bit more of what they're actually able to do when you're in joint practices because, yes, you're going to be safe with the other people, but you're going to be, using probably some techniques that you might not have been using
I
your
am
own guys.
I am fascinated to see how the joint practices work for like the week 1. We've never done that. We've only done the second week of the preseason. We've never done it in week 1 of the preseason.
Well, it makes me week 1, and it's only one day. Normally there's 2 days, so usually you know one team has a good day, and then the other team comes roaring back the next day. Or in some cases, nobody roars back, and it's all bad. Or all good, depending on your
Yep.
all you're doing.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see how a one-day joint practice works.
Me too. It'll be that'll be interesting. And then how does after a 2-day, I don't expect guys that the Browns are very comfortable with on their team or like in prominent roles. I don't think they play against the Eagles, but with just 1 day of joint practice, I think you could still see some people play against the Panthers. And I think right now, given that it seems as though we are as far away as possible from having a starting quarterback named, that you're going to need to see these people play.
Next Friday night,
yeah,
the 8th of August is going to be it's going to be appointment listening and appointment watching.
Yep.
I mean, that's 7 o'clock, kids. I mean, that's every quarterback's going to get a pretty big turn at the wheel.
Yes, they will.
Because I would assume I don't know. I don't know what Pickett's status is going to be, but I don't think. Are you in a hurry to rush him back out there? If he's,
I think we'll get an answer on that. I think tomorrow. And my expectation right now, just based on nothing, because I'm not a doctor, but just seeing him and just what it feels like to me, it feels like he's got a good opportunity to be back at practice. I think it was an abundance of caution.
Absolutely.
And I think he'll be ready to go.
Well, I think we're going to go pads tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay.
So
can't do 3 days in a row, so they'd be off Sunday, then practice Monday.
Tuesday travel day.
So there's no practice Tuesday? Or maybe there's an early.
I can tell you.
I think there might be an early something.
It's not open to the public.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking into the microphone. Actually, Tuesday will just be lift and run.
Okay.
Maybe there's a walk. I'm assuming there's a walkthrough at some
Yeah.
point, and then we'll fly to Carolina that afternoon.
Yeah.
So, and I believe will be a morning practice with Carolina, that joint one. Just knowing the Carolina weather.
Yep.
In the afternoon, the storms usually roll in, so it's a lot like Florida in the summer.
Hey, I'm all for it. I like that morning practice.
Let's knock that out.
Let's do that. We shall do that. All right, when we come back, we are going to hear from former NFL quarterback and analyst for NFL Network, David Carr, and kind of get his thoughts on the quarterbacks. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about where this roster is 7 days into training camp. We've got a lot to get to. We're going to do that for you right here as Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, rolls on. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today and get $50 in bonus bets when you place your first wager of $10 or more. Ballybet, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. We're going to take a look at the Browns offense through 7 days of training camp in just a second. But now, let's hear about the quarterbacks. And who better to talk about that than a former number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft who started right away as a rookie. NFL quarterback and analyst for NFL Network, David Carr, talked with the Browns play-by-play voice, Andrew Siciliano.
It kind of feels like old times. David Carr and me,
this guy,
sitting in
Legend.
director's chairs, just two dudes wearing shorts in front of a camera.
talking ball, man.
Good to see
It's
you,
always
man.
done. Bro. When I saw this guy's face when I pulled up, the joy that hit my heart,
You are such a liar.
having not slept, I said, "There's got to be a familiar face here." This guy.
It's good to see you.
You guys got a good one, man. Listen to him. He's got
This
it.
is a good one here. So
Yep.
David just got off the red eye
I did.
from the West Coast. How do you feel?
$1 million, man. I feel like I'm actually back in training camp. If you ever want to know what it's like to be in training camp, take a red eye and then just go right to an event. That's literally how you feel about a weekend.
So I did that Tuesday into Wednesday.
Yeah.
The issue is Wednesday, or the benefit for me is that practice Wednesday was at 4:30 or something like
Okay.
that. So I go take a nap.
Yeah. Shut it down.
We got the 9:30 practice
man.
for you, buddy, and that plane just landed. We're
We're
happy
right
to
here.
have you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Obviously.
This is going to be fun.
David is here as part of the Back Together Weekend coverage, NFL Network, with our good friend Jeff Chadilla. They'll be on all day here from the Cross Country Mortgage campus, and all eyes, obviously, are on the quarterbacks. There are other issues here with the Browns, other battles, other injuries to discuss, but it's about the quarterbacks. Let's talk about the rookies specifically here. When you look at Dylan Gabriel, pick 94, when you look at Shedeur Sanders, pick 144, as a former pick number 1 overall who played immediately as a rookie, what do you look to see today?
It's a lot, but I think ultimately we always talk about the eye test. That's what I want to see. I want to be here and see them live and see how they move, see how they throw, see if they can layer the ball. There's a lot of things that you just can't see on film. You can see the competitiveness, you can see overall ability, but like actually getting to see them in 11-on-11 drills, in 7-on-7, working amongst their teammates, you can get a really good sense of how the quarterback moves. Also, his ability to understand early, that is so crucial because you, as a young quarterback, you walk into the huddle and there are now grown men trying to feed their families that have done this for 5-10 years. And they're looking right into your soul. Like they aren't looking at the flashy wristbands. They do not care. Can you, if I put you in this field with me, can you make sure I have a job next year? That's literally what you're tasked with as a young quarterback. And so knowledge is key, man. Like as much as you can dig into understanding, and even if you don't know what you're saying, say it with confidence in the huddle and just get out there and try to lead first because the physical ability will come. It's just about mentally being able to do it.
How much, and the mental thing I think is a big part of it because Dylan Gabriel made the point on Friday, hey, it doesn't matter how many reps I get. The mental reps are equally as important as the physical
great
reps. I could
mindset.
be right behind the line. I could be, working through it.
He's
behind
exactly
the
right.
play, and Shedeur has certainly said the same things as well. Gabriel is getting more second-team reps than Sanders is. Sanders had some on Friday. There is a red zone session on Thursday in which Shedeur is working with the third team, and honestly, it was a bit of a mess. Offensive line did him no favors, and
Yeah.
really you can't get a fair read
Right.
on what the guy can do because you can't get the
Yeah.
playoff. How important is it for the rookies to get reps with the first and second team to see how they can do things with a smoother overall operation?
Yeah, there's going to be moments, and maybe now is not the time. Maybe it's a couple more days into camp or maybe even a week because what you want to do as a coaching staff, and we just saw some of these guys walking out here, you have to be really careful about those moments because exactly what I was just talking about, when you walk into the huddle and you don't know what you're doing, guys see it so fast. And it's not even that you don't know the play. It's just like there's a different level of confidence that you call a play with, that you command ownership of the team. And so Dylan's exactly right. That's what you have to get to. And until they see that, in the huddle amongst their guys in the meeting rooms, they can't throw them in there because all you're going to do is put them behind, and you're going to make it really tough for them to sell their teams that they can play.
And so here's Shedeur Sanders right behind us now. If you're
Perfect.
watching on the video, he just came out of the building through the gauntlet. We got a bunch of kids here cheering and screaming his name, and they were doing that yesterday, Friday, on the very first day of the open practice as well. Certainly he has the popularity. Dylan Gabriel has the popularity, and fans just want to see any quarterback get out there and succeed. You, the former number 1 overall pick in 2002, you were thrown in immediately.
Yeah.
Right? You started day 1. By the way, you won day number 1 as well in primetime. He and his
We didn't know
Houston
what we were
Texans
doing,
beat the
but it
Dallas
worked.
Cowboys. I had a big party at my house that night. We remember watching. The
was
Cowboys
great.
went down and we all celebrated.
That was great.
David Carr. Philosophically, though, after seeing Mahomes sit, after seeing Aaron Rodgers sit, and after going through what you went through,
Yeah.
are you of the mind that a quarterback needs to sit and watch, or should they be thrown into the fire?
No, sit as long as you can. I mean, it's a luxury. What you guys have here now with the 2 veteran guys able to be ahead of these 2 young guys, that takes so much pressure off them for a lot of reasons. In the meeting rooms, you get to actually watch Joe Flacco and Kenny kind of work through, how do you talk to a coach? How do you get game plan oriented to where you get your stuff in? Like, how do you work and navigate that space? And then at the same time, the outside pressure is going to be so big because as soon as one of these guys goes out, Dylan or Shedeur, and they throw a couple touchdowns in the preseason, everybody's going to want them to play. But to have that veteran buffer to where you say, we're going to put the veteran guys out there. We're going to let them go. We're going to try to focus on getting this team to play as good a football as we can. That kind of gives them some time to kind of just breathe. I honestly, like when you go out here and you're in shorts, so for me, I threw it better than Kent Graham and Tony Banks and these guys. And so they put me in. There was no real other option. These guys were kind of towards the end of their career, at least with Flacco, who is at the end. He can still sling it. Kenny's a young guy they traded for. You have some guys that you can put out there in front of them and kind of let them breathe for a second. So I'm a big fan of sitting, watch these guys perform. The first time I went through a week of preparation to get ready to play the Cowboys, that game you mentioned, I was doing it myself because I had now won the job. And the veteran guys are less eager to help you in that situation. Unfortunately, that's the way that it is. And so I think that the longer you can go without putting that pressure on the young kid, the better.
And you know what? The schedule does the Browns no favors either as well. You open at home against Joe Burrow. You're on the road against Lamar Jackson. Then you're home against Jordan Love. And then you're on the road against Jared Goff. And then you go to London.
Let's just wait till after London.
And then after London is
Still no breaks?
No bye at Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers.
So let's wait till Christmas. Are we good with Christmas, everyone? Christmas present, little
great.
Shedeur or Dylan, that'd be great.
Great present to unwrap. David Carr, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too,
All
man.
right, stay
Yeah.
cool over there under the
Yeah,
tent.
that's gonna be great. I mean, there's no rain, it's humid, but you know what?
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
It's going to rain in like an hour.
Perfect.
All right,
Good.
David Carr, everybody.
All right, that's former number 1 overall pick David Carr urging patience for the Browns with their young quarterback. So one of the things I said we would do is kind of take a look at where things stand now for this roster through 7 days of training camp, and obviously we'll get that started here on the offensive side of the football. Quarterback, you have 4 of them in camp right now. You could keep 4. You could keep 3. If you keep 3, it is my strong belief that means one of either Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco would not be here. I think it is more likely than not the answer will be 3 at that position, but the Browns certainly could keep 4. If Kenny Pickett is back tomorrow, as I think he will be, no scores on that. That is just, I think he will be. I think we have a real competition. I've said all along, I think he is the leader in the clubhouse. Joe Flacco, who's a tremendous human and a great quarterback and a great friend of this program. I think one of those 2 will be starting opening day, and then you've got the rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So right now you've got 4. I think it's likely 3 spots could end up being all 4, though. Andrew Berry said that certainly is possible. Running back right now, you've got Jerome Ford, you've got Dylan Sampson, Pierre Strong, Armani Marshall, and Toa Taua, who just joined the team recently and is a north-south runner. Could be a short yardage runner as well. Played very well in the UFL, actually led that league in rushing touchdowns last year. I think you're going to end up with 3 here. I did not mention Quinshon Judkins. Again, not scores, but if you listen to what was said by Jimmy Haslam and by others, it sounds like Quinshon Judkins will be here sooner rather than later. And if he is, obviously he's going to make this football team. So I think right now, Judkins, Sampson, and Jerome Ford are probably your top three. We just don't know about the Judkins situation, so Pierre Strong's in the mix there. I think Marshall and Ta'u are guys that could be looked at as practice squad guys down the road. The Browns have one fullback in right now, Troy Hairston. I just think that's going to be very difficult in kind of the numbers crunch to see a fullback make this roster. He would have to be a very special player, and not to say that Hairston is not. I don't know if we've seen that or the vibes are that he is, on the level of an Andy Janovich or a Kyle Juszczyk, somebody that you've got to keep on your roster. Wide receiver room. This is one where Browns typically keep 6. I don't know if they keep 6. I think Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman are locks. I think DeAndre Carter, given his return ability, is probably a lock. Jamari Thrash has played well. I think he's a lock. And to my eyes, these are my eyes, Deontay Johnson keeps performing the way that he's performing. He's going to be a lock as well. Deontay Johnson, absolutely professional receiver, still can separate, still can get open, and has had some really, really good days of camp. So also in the room, you've got David Bell, third-round pick from a few years ago. He's been injured, though. We have still not seen him at all in camp, and you cannot make the club in the tub. He's going to need to get out there, and he's going to need to be really impressive. Of the younger guys, I think 3 of them have shown some aptitude here. I don't know if they'll be able to make the team, but certainly practice squad candidates, and maybe they are the guys who shock and make the team. And that's Gage Larvidan, Luke Floria, Caden Davis. Those are the guys right now. Those 3 have stood out to me. Larvidan's been incredible. Gage made probably the play of the day in the padded period section yesterday. You could tell his teammates like him. Luke Floria is beloved by his teammates, and if you went to the Hungry Dogs, that's the opportunity period afterwards, they had a one-on-one for push-ups, and he got open. Shedeur threw a beautiful ball. But you can see Jerry Jeudy was running down and mobbing Flory. So he's got the respect of his teammates. And then Caden Davis has played well also. Keyshawn Johnson has made some nice catches. Caden McDonald's made some nice catches. Winston Wright just got here. But I think right now you could have 5 in that receiver room, potentially 6 if Larvidan or Floria, Caden Davis, if they just have monster preseasons and the Browns feel like they're going to lose them otherwise. Tight end. I think you're going to have 3. Njoku, Fannin, and Whitehart. Fannin's been incredible. The Chief is the Chief, and Blake Whitehart definitely has been that 3rd tight end so far. They also have Brendan Bates and Sal Cannella. I think you keep 3 tight ends. I could see them bringing in somebody, though, and then maybe keeping Blake Whitehart, for example, on the practice squad. I definitely think either Bates or Cannella will be on the practice squad as well. The offensive line, this is where it gets dicey because you're probably going to be limited to 24 on offense. So I think you kind of have like the spots. Let's say you go 3 quarterbacks, 3 running backs. That's 6. 5 receivers would be 11. 3 tight ends would be 14. And you're going to have at least 9 offensive linemen, so that's 23. So I think you have one spot that could be a 6th receiver, a 10th offensive lineman, a 4th quarterback, or a 4th running back. That's kind of the way I see it right now. Your starters are DeJuan Jones, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Posick, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin. Locks. Zach Zinter, I think, is probably a lock. Cornelius Lucas is a lock. And then your other backups that you feel pretty good about, Luke Whippler, Tevin Jenkins. I think if he's healthy, he's going to be a lock. Whippler's a lock as the backup center. And then there's Jackson Barton, who right now is working as the backup right tackle. Now, he's a veteran, been in the league. Do the Browns think that, they could get him or somebody else to the practice squad and go with 9? That's the question. You also have, Roy Mbedeka, Javion Cohen, Bucky Williams, Lorenzo Thompson, Julian Pearl, Jason Ivey, and D'Artagnan Tinsley, which is an incredible name. But that's kind of where things stand, I think, as you look at it on the offensive side. I think you're going to end up, historically, it's been 24 offense, 26 defense, 3 specialists to get to your 53, historically. And going through the defense, you can see that that's probably where it's going to be again. It would be very difficult to have less than that on the defensive side of the ball right now. So that's where it is. That's how I see it. Again, I think you're kind of in a competition between that 10th offensive lineman, between the 4th quarterback, the 4th running back, and the 6th wide receiver for that final roster spot really on the offensive side. When we come back in hour number 2, we're going to do what I just did, but we're going to run through the defense real quickly. We're also going to hear from D and Jimmy Haslam, Browns ownership press conference from a couple days ago. We still will go around the league for you, and we are going to have the mailbag. So get your questions in at Browns_Daily and on the YouTube stream. Hour number 1 in the books, Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Before we head back to the podium, we went through the offensive side. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the defensive side of your Cleveland Browns through 7 days through training camp. And this is a defense that you were expecting in the Mike linebacker position named Jordan Hicks. He's retired. You're expecting at the cornerback position the name of M.J. Emerson, and he has unfortunately suffered a season-ending Achilles injury. We knew that you'd be without Jeremiah Wusu-Koromo, so this is a group that looks very different than perhaps you thought it looked at the beginning. So as we take a look at it, I'll kind of go through and tell you kind of how I see it, who I think locks are, and what's kind of up for grabs here in these rooms. We'll start at the defensive end room: McGuire, Alex Wright, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Myles Garrett. Those 4, to me, locks to make this roster. I do think you will get another one of Cam Thomas or Julian Okwara. So I think you're going to end up with 5 defensive ends. I think you'll end up with 5 defensive ends. The defensive tackle position, your locks in my mind are Mason Graham, Malik Collins, and Mike Hall. I do believe Shelby Harris is a lock. I've got him in green as well. And I think you're going to get one of Sam Kamara or Jawan Briggs. My guess is Briggs being the draft pick that he would have the advantage. So that would be 5 again on the defensive tackles, 5 defensive ends, 10 of them. They like to rotate these guys through. We have consistently had 10 defensive linemen on our initial 53s. Now, could you get away with 9? Sure. But my guess is that you will have 10 and that you have, your core of 8, and then you're going to get either Cam Thomas or Julian Okwara. You're going to get a Sam Kamara or Jawan Briggs at defensive tackle. Also, Ralph Holley, Aiden Huntington, and then KJ Henry also could be in the mix at that defensive end position. Holley and Huntington on the inside. Linebackers, your starters: Carson Schlesinger, Devin Bush, Mahmoud Diabate. Your top backups: Jerome Baker, Winston Reed. And then I think if they go with 6, I think Buki Watson, Nathaniel Watson, the former SEC Defensive Player of the Year, would be that 6th linebacker. But if you got, again, remember, we're looking now for 26 over here because we've got 24 on offense, 26 on defense. And so that means if you've got 10 on the defensive line and you've got 6 in the linebacker room, you could only have 10 DBs, which is doable. You could have 5 corners and you could have 5 safeties. Now, you could also end up in a situation where maybe you've got 11 DBs, so then you'd only have 5 at the linebacker position.
Yeah, and that'll come down to special teams.
So that's why I've got Buki Watson's kind of in that. I've got him as a guy that could be in. Your defensive backs, your corners that I think are locks are Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Cam Mitchell, and Chiganuzium. I think then you could have 5 or 6 there. Tony Brown, special teams guy, would be number 5. More of a special teams player than a corner. But then they love Myles Harden. So now all of a sudden you're at 6 there. So, and then in your safety room, if you're playing 3 like the Browns do somewhat regularly, you probably need 5 there. And you got Ronnie Hickman, Grant Delpit, Christopher Edmonds, I think, is in based on what I've seen and what I've heard. And then DeMonte KZ seems to be the next one in as a free safety. So now you've got Nick Needham, who could maybe fill 2 roles, right? If he plays well, veteran slot corner and safety. You've got Rayshawn Jenkins, who's a strong safety, and Donovan McMillan as well. Rayshawn Jenkins is a veteran that you would think would make this football team. McMillan, I think, will end up on the practice squad. They like him. Nick Needham, that becomes a question. So, somewhere between Tony Brown, Myles Harden, Nick Needham, Rayshawn Jenkins, you've got probably 4 guys there for 3 spots, or maybe 2 spots.
I was thinking 2 spots.
Depending on how the linebackers play out. I think your specials will be Bojorquez, Hopkins, and Sunahara. But that's where, so there's still a lot to be decided. And so when you're saying in these joint practices, like defensively, for example, yes, you care about who's going to be the starter opposite Myles, but at the same time, like, they're going to all play a ton. So, yeah, that's a competition, McGuire, Wright, and Tryon-Shoyinka. Sure. Inside, how quickly once Mike Hall's out there, does he move himself up into the top alongside Mason Graham, or is Malik Collins that guy? So that's a little bit of a battle. I think your linebackers are pretty well set with Bush, Schlesinger, and Diabate, with Schlesinger at the mic. I think your starting corners with Ward, Newsome, Mitchell are pretty set, and Hickman Delpit I think is pretty set. But there's going to be a lot of competition behind them to make this roster. And that's kind of ultimately what this is all going to be about, right, is the competition. And so when you're talking about joint practices, those are massive days for these guys. When you're talking about the preseason games, massive games for these guys. Massive for the quarterback. Massive for a great many things. So you got to pay attention. I mean, I think these are going to be there aren't a ton of spots open, as I talked about. It's probably like one spot on offense or two spots on offense for maybe like 5 or 6 guys, but all at different positions. And on defense, it's probably, there's a spotted defensive end, a spotted defensive tackle, and then between the linebackers and the DBs, there's probably 3 or 4 spots for, 5 or 6 guys. And that's really the reality of the situation where things stand right now. So as we get more information, and obviously, Quinshon, that factors into it, as we get back to that stuff, we'll see how it ultimately all plays out. But that's why these preseason games, that's why these joint practices and the coverage of them are so important. And so you're going to have great on News 5 with Chris Rose and the Hoff, and then on radio with Siciliano and myself, giving you kind of all the insights that you possibly could need, to be ready and kind of understand the direction that things go. And now things obviously change. The initial 53 to the final 53 that you take into week 1, they typically changed, but we'll see how it ultimately plays out there. All right, we're going to head to the podium now after that kind of look 1 week through this at where things stand with this roster. We're going to look for the podium now, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is the best, as denoted by Gibbe, from Dee and Jimmy Haslam's press conference.
Well, welcome to camp.
You're done.
We're always excited to have a new season to get started. We're really excited with our young players and our new coaching staff, and you can see the energy around the building. We're all committed to making this just a tremendous year. So we're glad to be back at camp. And we're also really excited about the new Dome Stadium. A lot of progress has been made. I mean, we started out thinking, what can we do for the fans in this community? And what can we do for Northeast Ohio and for Cleveland? And I think the Dome Stadium is a transformational project that will deliver a world-class experience for our fans and also spur economic growth and conversation on what a great place this is to live. So, Jimmy?
Not a lot to add. I think it is exciting when the players are back. And for those of us who are here most of the year, it's just a much different energy level. I think you can tell we're working hard in camp. It's been hot, which I think is good because it'll be hot during the season, and they battled through that well. 2 straight days in Pat, so this will be a good test for them today. But off to a good start. Certainly hate that Kenny got a little dinged up, but hopefully he'll be back quickly. And I would echo what Dee said. Really excited about Brook Park. Most appreciative of the state of Ohio and all the work they did. Governor DeWine, Speaker Huffman, President of the Senate McCauley, Senate Finance Chair Jerry Serino all did a tremendous job in helping make that happen, and we're excited. I think sometime late this year we'll start moving some dirt. There'll be significant construction starting in the first quarter, and I think now's the time for this community to really work together to create a tremendous situation here in Brook Park, as well as along the riverfront, a re-envisioned lakefront. And potentially an almost new airport. So lots of exciting things going on here in Cleveland, and we're happy to be part of it. And we'll start with any football questions you all have.
Jimmy, what, in terms of wins, what would be a successful season?
Jeff, do you really think we're going to answer that? Listen, we got to do better than 3, okay? To put a number on it, I don't think we will ever do that. Everybody, coaches, players, personnel, ownership, all knows that 3 and 14 won't cut it. We've got to do better. I think we'll know what better looks like.
Do you expect Quinshon Junkins to eventually sign and play for you?
I do, but that's, we all understand due process of law, and the law does not move quickly. But yes, we're cautiously optimistic.
We haven't talked to you since the draft. So can you explain why the Browns felt the need to draft this year after drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round and adding 2 guys?
Well, I think that's really more of an Andrew question, okay? But I think, what was that pick, 146? We thought he was good value at 146.
Jimmy, there's been kind of like a national narrative that you were the person who forced the Shore pick, or maybe people have called it the owner pick. What would you say to that?
Yeah, listen, we have good process, okay? And if you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shador, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shador. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
You obviously signed off on the trade on the first side of the draft.
Correct.
What was that a tough sell deal or an easy sell?
Those are hard decisions. Listen, Travis Hunter is a special football player, and I do think he can play both ways, and I think he'll do well. He's also a great kid. I mean, not a good, but a great kid. So we were locked in on that, and then the opportunity came up, and you go back 3 places, and we thought there were really good players, and we think we got a really good one in Mason, and then to add really almost a first-round pick with the 36th pick, and to have a number 1 next year, we just thought was too good to pass up. Time will tell whether we did the right thing or not.
What have you learned about building a team since you bought one?
Think doesn't look like very much. No, I say it's hard, and you make mistakes. And the business world we come in, you can hire anytime you want to. Okay, there's no seasonal, there's no draft, and so you can build a team over a period of time. Almost at free. There's no draft. There's no free agency. There are no controls. So it's obviously not easy. We made the decision last year to take a step back after last year's disaster and looking at our roster and knowing that we needed a quarterback to do this over a 2 or 3 year period. It's too early to say, but we like our rookie group. We'll know a lot more after we play 2 or 3 exhibition games and the young guys get to play a lot, but we like the group, and particularly if Q can come back, we like it a lot.
Jimmy, just with 4 quarterbacks battling it out, I know Kenny's hurt now, but it's so rare to see this many quarterbacks competing for a starting job on a team. Just how do you think Kevin and Andrew and everyone has sort of handled that in the early portion of camp?
Really well, and that was a concern we had. Like, how do you make sure everybody gets enough plays, enough looks, et cetera, and I hate it for Kenny because he played really well the 2 or 3 days before he got hurt, and there's nobody that wants to be part of the team more than Kenny. He's working hard, and I know he'll get back quickly, but I think so far they've handled it well. And something that Kevin and Andrew talk about weekly. Here's the plan for this week, and I think going to Carolina and scrimmaging and then playing, and then we're going to Philly and have 2 days of scrimmages and then playing. The young guys will get a lot of looks, as will the veterans in the scrimmages. So we'll know a lot more the next couple of weeks.
I know you said it's Kevin's decision who plays, but organizationally, do you think it's important? Do you talk about we need to see these rookies in game situation before you have 2 first-round picks in 2026?
Absolutely. So, but I mean, Kevin is aware of that. He knows how important quarterback is, and he and Andrew talk about those kind of things all the time. I mean, it's a daily, ongoing conversation.
With that type of philosophy, fans that to get your message across to them that this is a building process, because you know how loyal they are and how frustrated.
Well, listen, we're frustrated too, and we share the fans' pain. Okay, and Dee says this all the time. We're stewards of this franchise, and we need to do a better job. And we want to win for a lot of different reasons. The main reason we want to win is for our fans. They really do. We have great fans.
And the mayor of Cleveland has said he doesn't want his lakefront left without getting any. Have you reached out to the mayor? And
yeah, I mean, I think we started with the vision of the lakefront a long time ago, and we believe strongly that the lakefront needs to be developed. I feel like we have put a lot of input and energy into what that vision could be. So we have not had further conversations recently, but we care about this community so deeply, and I think the lakefront is a really important part of that.
How confident are you that you'll be able to make the Brook Park project happen at this point?
Like 99.9.
No, we're very confident and very excited about it.
I mean, we can't be more confident. Let me say, these projects are really hard. okay? And the state's a hurdle. You know, there's other hurdles. You got to work with DOT and rapid transit. You got to get your financing. You got to control costs. These are big, complicated projects. This is either the second or largest project in the state of Ohio history. So this is a complicated project. There's stuff going on. It's 3.5 years till the stadium opens, and we will have to work hard every day to get everything to come together.
Jimmy, indeed, one of the chief points that the opposition to the Brook Park project kept making was that it would harm downtown Cleveland. Obviously, there's big plans for the riverfront, now the lakefront opening up. Just from your perspective, how confident are you that this region can support all three major developments and for them to be successful?
Yeah, they're all three very different. And we believe in Cleveland. We believe in a growth mindset. We believe in economic development. And we believe that this could be one of the greatest communities out there. But you have to have that vision and you have to have that growth mindset. And we believe that we can take care of our fans and provide economic development by doing the Brook Park project.
You're talking about.
Let me just say one more thing. Excuse me. I think of them as 4 different projects. Okay. The riverfront project that Bedrock's doing is already underway, right? You got a good start with their practice facility and the clinic facility, okay? That's probably a 15, 20-year project, okay? The lakefront, due to the fact that we're going to be playing there through 28, probably, and you have to get the infrastructure in place, doesn't start until 29 or 30, which is, basically 5 years from now, okay? Our project will start late this fall, early next year, okay? And the airport will start about that same time too. So you'll have going on in Brook Park and the airport, that'll happen simultaneously. We're open in 29, they're supposed to be open in 31, okay? Bedrock is, I don't want to say think of it as running a marathon, will be ongoing for the next 15 years. The lakefront will start in 5 years. So it's not like all 4 of them are starting at the same time. Now here again, those are complicated, not easy projects. I would say one of the things is think about being additive. Like, let's try to add to the pie. That's what growing successful communities do. Let's try to add to the pie. And that's what I think we're all trying to do. And hopefully that'll happen if we will work together.
Yeah, we can write a great story for Cleveland that people from everywhere will look to what Cleveland's doing and how exciting it is with all these projects. So that's the story that really needs to come out.
Steve, this might be a better question for you to address this briefly. A lot of people, including the county executives, I shouldn't say a lot of people, some people, including the county executive, are saying the dome's going to be a flop. What's your response to that?
We have the really smart people involved in the process, and everybody is very excited about it, and we're getting calls on people wanting to be part of the development around it. So we feel really excited about it. It's kind of a front door to Cleveland when you look at it. When you land at the airport or when you drive in, you're going to be passing by that development in the Dome Stadium. It's going to be the only one in Ohio. It's really one of the few Dome stadiums on the East Coast. So we're incredibly optimistic and excited about it. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it here at camp.
All right, those are your owners of the Cleveland Browns, Dee and Jimmy Haslam, talking about a great many things from football to the stadium, which I know we are all very, very excited about. All right, when we come back, we're going to go around the league. We got some questions for me as well that we will answer about training camp, and then we're going to get into the mailbag. So get your questions in at Browns_Daily. You can tweet them directly to me at Nathan Zagura, or you can put them in on the YouTube chat, and we will get to those when we return here. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Elk Serious Lawyers for Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for your free case review. Elk & Elk is a proud partner of the Cleveland Browns. We go around the league now. Former Broncos and Seahawks tight end, former first-round pick, Noah Fant, signing a one-year deal with the Bengals. And so they'll have Fant with Gesicki. They get some real size there at the tight end position. Real size.
What happens with Zach Moss?
He got cut.
I know, but
neck injury. I'm sure. I bet he's just not healthy. Chase Brown's their guy, and then they drafted a rookie as well.
Correct.
Noah Fant, by the way, last year 500 yards. The year before that 414, 46, 670, 673, 562. This is a guy who's been
weapon.
Pretty darn productive, averaging over 500 yards receiving, basically 550 yards receiving a year for his career. So he's going to join Mike Gesicki, who the Bengals made sure that they brought back last year. Gesicki had 65 catches for 665 yards. And so you wonder if this means we're going to see maybe more 12 personnel from them as well. You'll have Chase and you'll have Higgins outside, and then you'll have these two big tight ends. Gesicki 6'6", Fant 6'5", 250. Got some big tight ends, big athletic tight ends. That'll be an interesting thing to see how that shakes out there for the Bengals.
I mean, again, you might not stop anybody defensively, but you're a formidable offense.
Oh, yeah, they're going to score.
Yeah.
They are going to be very formidable on offense.
Can they just have the ball last? Because that probably will be the case.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Chase Brown last year was very good for them. Ran for 990 yards on the season. He added another 306 yards receiving, 1,350 total yards, 11 touchdowns, and that was really he only became the starter towards the end of the season. If you look at his game logs from last year, once he got going, once he really kind of became the guy, and I would say that really kind of started in week 9. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of his last 7 games were over 100 total yards, and he scored a touchdown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So incredibly productive down the stretch, Chase Brown. They're a darn good offense. Chase Brown's a good player. He'll be a great fantasy pick once again.
I know you're the team of your Ute already cut Equimonious St. Brown.
Yeah, my dad was really excited about that. I guess that didn't last very long.
They did sign Cleveland's own Andy Isabella.
Wide
receiver.
Yeah, slot receiver type. Sure.
And they had worked out our former guy, Dearness Johnson, had a workout there.
Yeah, he fits the system. He knows the zone scheme. I hope they do pick him up. That would be great for him. Taj Brooks was the draft pick of the Bengals this year in the 6th round. So they've got Chase Brown. They brought back Samaje Perine, who seems to always be on their team. Receivers, Yoshavash, Jermaine Burton are probably the third receivers. But now when you look at Noah Fant and Gesicki, that's a pretty solid
formidable
group. Yeah, to go with the 2 tight end look right there. Cowboys camp yesterday, 3 different fights broke out. As punishment, rookie head coach Brian Schottenheimer made the team run wind sprints, coaches included.
What is going on there?
I don't know. The last time I saw a coach make people run wind sprints like that, it was not good for their tenure.
Yeah.
It was one of our coaches, but it happened here in joint practices a few years ago, and that guy was gone very quickly.
That's right.
It is right.
Right. I don't what are you doing fighting with each other already? You've been in camp for a week.
I don't know. Sometimes you never know what people are doing, Gibbe.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. That part I don't get. All right. Otherwise, a relatively quiet day in advance of tonight's Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
So let's go back to our football squad. Some questions for you as we're 7 practices into training camp. Who's impressed you the most this far? Give me 1 on offense, 1 on defense.
On offense, I'll say Harold Fannin.
Ooh.
Has really impressed me with his just ability to get open. He catches everything. He's good.
That's right.
After the catch, all of it. I think he's been incredibly impressive. And defensively, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka has looked very good as like a very nice addition to this football team.
Again, that's a guy that's coming off that rookie contract, and kind of a prove it year. So, training camp. So we had training camp standout, but is there a under the radar guy that has become on the radar as a result of his play in the last 7 practices?
Yeah, and I would also say that like Carson Sweshinger has definitely stood out in a very, very positive way. I think that Shedeur Sanders has stood out and needs to get more opportunities. But guys kind of under the radar that have stood out, that are competing, trying to make this football team. On offense, the wide receivers, Gage Larvidan and Luke Floria, I think they have clearly stood out. I think that Julian Aquara has stood out so far at defensive end. Those are some people kind of under the radar guys that I think have looked very good.
The one thing that concerns you the most about this football team?
Offensive line depth still is a concern for me. Once we've gotten down, into the second and the third team, especially at the tackle position, it has been rough.
The center.
Third team center, he's out.
Posick.
Well, yeah, that guy's out. He's gone. And Bucky Williams is in. So that still is a big concern to me. Do we have enough playmakers at wide receiver is a concern. The cornerback room now with losing MJ Emerson is definitely a concern of mine. And then, how's this quarterback situation shake out? That's probably the biggest thing that's got to happen right now.
All right.
So
we talked training camp darling. I think you've kind of named them. They're the under the radar guys.
Yeah, Floria and Gage Larvidan, especially at receiver. Those are guys that you're hoping to have a big preseason. And Floria, a local kid, it's a cool story.
Defensive line obviously seems to be the strongest
Yes.
position on this football team. What's number 2?
D-line would be, is definitely number 1. I think probably number 2 could be, once Judkin gets in here, I think I'll feel really good about our running back room with Judkins, Ford, and Sampson, because I like Sampson a lot. Ford looks very good. I think the tight end room is very good with Njoku and Fannin as your top 2.
Yeah, I like Whiteheart.
I like Blake Whiteheart as well. And I think I think the safety room might actually end up being pretty deep with Hickman, Delpit, KZ, Edmonds, Needham, Rayshon Jenkins, Donovan McMillan. I think that's like a pretty darn good room.
Knock on wood. Just got to keep them healthy.
Got to keep them healthy, for sure. All right, when we come back, we're going to get in the mailbag. So we've got some questions I've seen already, and I'm sure there are more on the YouTube, so you can get those questions in right now. It is a Mailbag Thursday, so we're going to take this all the way up. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Give it!
Hi. Mailbag?
Yeah, dude.
It's that time. At Browns_Daily on X, the J-Man is monitoring YouTube.
All right.
YouTube.com/Browns on our show feed. It's a pretty quiet day on their front.
It's not a day out. Players are in the building for meetings. No
Come on,
practice
we're
today,
here.
so maybe
Let's go.
Yeah.
Get your stuff together. Not you guys. I'm talking about the fans. Red at work. Have you guys ever been to Key West? Headed there tomorrow for an
Yes.
adult trip with friends. Any recommendations? I went Key Largo and further up the Keys.
I've been to Key West. It's awesome.
I've not been to Key West.
Kind of feels like you're in the Bahamas a little bit. It's very kind of, you'll love it. There's good food, great bars. Just go have a good time, whatever kind of.
It looks amazing. I would like nothing more than to go there and thrive.
Yeah, you'll have a great time in Key West. Big fan of Key West.
Always Positive J chimes in. Hog's Breath Saloon and Sunset Pier.
That place is good. There's also a good, man, let me think if I can find it. I'll try to find it. Taco place in Key West. Not really like right on the beach. Oh, Amigos Tortilla Bar. Yeah, that place is solid. They have like cool tacos. They invented in there. They say they claim to have invented the square taco. I wonder if they still have those. No, those don't look square. But
Square taco?
Yeah, like the shell was. This is it, but this is. I guess that's not what it's called anymore, or they don't. Maybe they don't do that anymore. The like shell was actually a square, and the way you fold it, it just whatever they did, it worked. It was good. Yeah, but that was it. I think Amigos Tortilla Bar because I have a shirt from there.
Joe tweets at the show, Z, what's worse? Your first hole-in-one but no witnesses, or your first hole-in-one but it's on a short par 3 course? I would say nothing's bad.
Nothing's bad about any of those. I mean, having no witnesses is tough because you don't have anybody corroborated or confirmed that it actually did happen, so it's just your word. You know you got it, though. I've got 2 hole-in-ones. Neither were alone. Yeah, I got 2.
I didn't know that.
The last one actually is on video at Walden. It was like Father's Day a few years ago, 5 years ago, in fact. And Kayla and the kids were there, and it was on video. I got it. It was number 2 at Walden. My cousin Danny, who was in town this past weekend and played with him, and he's got 7.
Excuse me?
I know. And then we were playing with another guy who's been like a scratch and is like a pro, and he doesn't have any.
That's crazy. 7?
Yeah, I have a bunch of like knock-ins from the fairway, like from 150 or 100+ yards, but only 2 hole-in-ones. One was down in Atlanta back when I was like in college, and then this one.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Lance tweets at the show, traveling from Portland for the Week 2 game in Baltimore, flying into D.C., staying between D.C. and Baltimore. Can I get a couple recs for food and stuff to do? First time in the area, love history, hate seafood.
Well, I mean, if you love history, you definitely have to go spend a lot of time in D.C., go to the Capitol building, see if you get your local Congress person to give you a tour. Do that if you want to go ahead and I mean, there's so many museums, Smithsonian's, all of it. D.C. is awesome. D.C. is an awesome, awesome town. Then, I think go down if the game in Baltimore, go down into Baltimore, and we love Izumi. That's sushi, so it's not. I mean, I guess that's a lot of seafood. Doesn't have to be. And then where do we go out, Gibbe?
The Horseshoe came in on Saloon.
That place, but what's that area?
The Inner Harbor.
Inner Harbor's where the food is, but then we go out on that spot.
Federal Hill.
Yeah, go out to Federal Hill.
Sorry.
Don't bring, if you get pizza at one place, don't bring it into another pizza place.
Or do so.
I don't think you want to do that. That guy was no joke.
I was ready.
You were not ready. The guy had tattoos up his neck, and you were not ready. nor should you have been not ready.
I had pizza from both
Yep.
spots. It was delightful. I needed it. H. Schneider, how's the Chief looked in camp? Haven't heard much about him.
Yeah, Chief looks great. You know, I think he's one of the guys that they're being a little, judicious with when you talk about, David Njoku and Miles and Denzel and Joel Bitonio, the guys that have been the Pro Bowlers and the guys that have been here that have done that. Yeah, I think that is I am expecting a big year for him.
I got two of these back-to-back, literally, from Michael DeVore and Pete and Illyria. How does the kicking game look this training camp? If games are close, big part of the game this year will be crucial. Pete and Illyria, why isn't Hopkins kicking at practice? Is he injured? Thanks.
So he has kicked. I've seen him kick. Haven't you seen him kick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's like a quarterback. You don't want the guy having 40 reps a day.
Right. I do think it is important that he is back and playing at a high level because that is going to be massive for this football team. I mean, we are going to be a team that plays great defense, that can run the football, that takes advantage of opportunities on offense, but also takes care of the football. It's going to come down to some kicks. I mean, if we're going to win a lot of games, yes, they are going to come down to some kicks. So hopefully that'll be rolling. Bajorquez has every franchise record. He's been a great punter. Sunahara filled in very nicely for Charlie Hula, who we'll get to see when we're in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would anticipate some situational work.
Yep.
To clarify that question, guys, I know that on our morning show, on the Really Big Show, they've talked about how he has kicked, but they're also saying that he hasn't kicked in live reps. So everybody's asking for live reps, and I don't know if you guys can touch on why or how that kind of gets all structured in training camp.
No, I just know that, for example, yesterday they did one where they ran them on, and then he went and he just simulated kicking it. So yeah, that's obviously happened. But I've seen him kick plenty, and his leg seems to look good.
Tommy Clayco, if you could teach a college course on anything, what would it be?
So I did do one time as a guest professor on fantasy football. So that I would be good at that. I would teach a college course on Caddyshack, the movie, the making of, the whole experience.
Very
I would
nice.
teach a college course similarly on Last Mohicans. I would teach a college course on amateur chefing and wine and all of that. I'd be happy to do that. That'd be fun.
This is from our YouTube channel. Can CBD get a closer look on TOA Tua?
Toa Ta'ua. Have we gotten a closer look at him?
It says, "Can we?" I'm assuming they mean,
I think. Listen, I do think you will see him certainly in the preseason. So yeah, you'll get a look at him. North-South runner, very tough. I can tell you that we got a little bit of a scouting report because remember he was in the UFL. Our former coach Greg Williams, his son Blake Williams, another former coach of ours, coach in that league. I'm pretty sure their team won the championship. He said, Browns fans, it pains me to say it, but he was a good player this year. Little bowling ball that knows the read of the play. If the Browns are going back to duo, pin pull, inside zone, power football behind their cellar interior, he's hard to tackle for less than 4 yards. So kind of like maybe what Kareem Hunt was like, not that long ago for the Cleveland Browns.
Richie Fox. Did you guys know that you're absolute legends? You should be proud of all the work you put into the show and the community.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, dude.
Love you, Ned.
I have one other one that I saw, and love a dog today. How would you compose your perfect fruit salad / bowl? Rando, I know, but that's
it
where we
is.
are on a
But
Thursday.
I mean, to me, the number one ranked fruit is pineapple. So there'd have to be a lot of pineapple in there. Period. Every now and then, a really good kiwi, great strawberry, sure, watermelon, of course. But I would be more concerned with pineapple. When I go in there and I end up getting out of the fruit salad, it's heavy on pineapple. It's got to be. Otherwise, if there's no pineapple, I don't get it.
Understand.
Yeah, I love.
That's I've grown to like the cantaloupe of the world.
So I like cantaloupe.
It's got to be
ripe.
Yeah, because if there's no juice, not interested.
I enjoy very much. I enjoy cantaloupe, and I think cantaloupe's at its best when it's got a little prosciutto wrapped around it. Not prosciutto and melon as they do in Italy. Then it's quite good.
All right.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known. I don't think I had that when I was over there.
No?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's usually on prosciutto e melon. That's usually on quite a great many things.
Yeah. All right. That's today's and this week's edition of the Mailbag.
All right. There it is.
So much more.
So much more to come. You are listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. All right, wrapping things up here on Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. I saw just a couple more questions coming in here real quick.
A reminder for everybody, we are back outside tomorrow. Practice at 2 o'clock. Only 3 practices left for the public. 2 o'clock on Friday, 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, and 2 o'clock on Monday. We'll be outside for Friday and Monday.
Yeah, yes,
and
we
then
will.
Off to Carolina.
By the way, shout out to Matt Wazowski said Norfolk is on the Chesapeake, has a huge naval base. He's right. Roanoke's in the mountains, and I was right. Roanoke is where Deontay Foreman went, and that'll be in the mountains where Wyatt is going to be. Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
I thought Roanoke was.
No, it's Norfolk. Norfolk's where the Navy. Yes.
Sweet. Crushing it today.
Hey, this one from Bobby. My 8th grade math teacher, Mr. Seuss, used to tell me the best color combo for a football team would be baby blue and brown. Back in the day, put it in creative team on Madden 2004. He wasn't wrong. We talked about maybe baby blue. That'd be a lot of fun. That's not serious. Those are not scores. Do not even pretend. Don't even pretend. All right. The next level is next. The Browns will be back in pads at practice tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clocker, right, Gibbe?
Yes, sir.
2 o'clocker, and then early on Saturday, 9:30 in the morning, one more time. So baseball trade deadline's out there. I know a lot of people. Shane Bieber already on the move.
Sad.
A lot of people waiting to see what will happen
Not a
with
bad deal, though, for the
Stephen Kwan. Sounds like he is going to be on the move as well.
15.
It's just a matter of where. They'll have full coverage for you that on the next level, which is next here. Thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.